evening, and welcome to the makeup for Films Friday Kill Count. As handle, let me stop. I was trying to do this for the video. I'm doing reaction to as well too. But anyway, what up? It's your boy T Bear Herman reaction. Today is right now. You're looking at it as a makeup for Films Friday. Had Family Mercy. Everything's fine right now as well too. So anyway, this week is Classic Week. This is the bonus video from the Classic Week. Maybe I call it bonus video because this is like all the movies that wasn't part of the Universal, the early Universal Studio classic horror, like the Frankenstein, the Dracula's. All this is like other classics as well too that deserve to get recognized as well too. That I haven't reacted to yet though, and this is one of the first ones I'm gonna react to out of the bonus one. That is the classic Alfred Hitchcock classic called The Birds as well too. Alfred Hitchcock was one of the OG of horror, thriller, mystery as well too, with his showcase of the Alfred Hitchcock Alfred Hitchcock showcase, whatever you want to call it, the series. He made movies as well too. Is famous for his intros and his good evening and his in-shape body, and also the well-known logo as well too of his silhouette. Other than that, without further ado, The Birds is one of the OG classics of horror. So without further ado, this one came out in 1963. So let's get it. But James will tell you more about it more, so let's get it. Unless this is one of his earlier days, we can't say too much of it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and tomorrow, January 5th, is National Bird Day, which I guess is a thing. So to celebrate that, I'm looking at The Birds, released in 1963 by director Alfred Hitchcock, one of the most influential filmmakers of all time. This is our first time with Hitch on this channel, and I just want to stress how monumental this dude was to the world of film. Consider, for instance, that The Birds was his follow-up to the massively successful
I forgot. Psycho.
seminal Psycho, which had come out 3 years earlier. Now,
Psycho was the OG of slashers before slashers.
the 3-year gap in between Psycho and The Birds was the longest time Hitch had gone without making a movie since he began his career in 1922. Dude made a movie almost every year, sometimes twice a year, for nearly 4 decades straight. What the fuck? The Birds is based on a novella by Daphne du Maurier and tells a pretty simple story about an avian assault on the tiny town of Bodega Bay, California. While it can be a little slow at times, it's got enjoyable, stage-worthy performances by everyone in the cast, including Tippi Hedren in her first ever film role and a 13-year-old Veronica Cartwright, who would go on to play Lambert in Alien.
Whoa!
The scenes featuring bird attacks are unforgettable, thanks to a combination of kick-ass special effects by UB Iwerks and some very well-trained birds courtesy of Head.
And hold up, Veronica Cartwright. She also was on some other stuff too. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, she was definitely, like I said, Alien first one. I definitely remember that. But I'm trying to figure out other stuff I seen her that she did later on. Yeah, Fly the Navigator and Scary Movie 2. She was the mother of the possessed with the Exorcist one, and she was on Candyman Farewell to the Flesh. Yup. Yeah, I remember some movies she was in other than that though. Yeah. So anyway, so let's keep going. Wow, that was her when she was a little kid. That's pretty awesome. I got a little net around here. Hopefully, that's all I see. I won't see another damn centipede crawling out of the background like last time. My bad. I realized I had to pause on. Let's keep going.
Music. Instead, it uses silence and sound design to great effect, as you can hear right off the bat.
Wow.
In San Francisco, socialite Melanie Daniels, played by the breathtakingly beautiful Tippi Hedren, walks into a pet shop frequented by dog-walking directors who would grow to be possessive of her. Seriously, I love his movies, but Hitchcock's obsession with Tippi Hedren was real creepy and troubling. Melanie is there to pick up some—
Hold on, man. Don't tell me, my man Alfred Hitchcock was gonna have. Don't tell me he was like a Weinstein back in the day, man. Anyway, Well, he's still the OG, but still. Speaking of that, I might do a special intro for this as well too if I haven't said it already. But yeah.
Myna birds, and maybe some of them Cheez-It looking things in the back there. Get the extra toasty kind. While the store owner is in the back, this dude with a chin made out of bricks walks in and asks Melanie for help, supposedly mistaking her for a worker there. Clearly she likes the work of this dude's face mason, so she pretends to work there and tries to help him. He's looking for some lovebirds to buy as a birthday gift for his little sister, but it turns out he also knows Melanie doesn't work there, and he's purposefully embarrassing her by sussing out her avian ignorance.
No, those are
Yeah, everyone they see a lot of classy look back in the day.
Oh, I thought they were strawberry finches.
Oh, yes, we call them that, too.
See, this dude, Mitch
Lie.
Brenner, is a lawyer who recognizes Melanie from a time she was in court.
Don't you remember one of your practical jokes that resulted in the smashing of a plate glass window?
I didn't break that window.
Yes, but your little prank did.
I'm not sure what kind of viral pranks Melanie Daniels has been up to, but she's miffed at Mitch for making an ass out of her, so after he leaves, she plans to get back at him by getting the lovebirds he was looking for? Wait, that's not a prank, that's a
not a
favor.
prank.
Melanie Daniels is one of my favorite characters ever, mostly because of how crafty she is. She gets Mitch's name and address by jotting down his license plate and having her well-connected family pull strings at the DMV. The next day, she's got a pair of lovebirds and tries to drop them off at his apartment, until a very trusting neighbor of his tells her that Mitch is actually gone for the weekend, up in Bodega Bay, 60 miles north. Cut to Melanie Daniels driving through a postcard on her way to Bodega Bay, the lovebirds swaying with her every turn in some
That's so
hilarious
cute.
shots that are a great example of Hitchcock's sense of humor. And if the shots of Melanie driving on the coast look familiar to you, it's probably because this was the same place they used in the opening of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Don't hit no crazy fisherman, Tippy. Now, although some backplates and establishing shots were filmed in both the actual Bodega Bay and the nearby, much smaller community of Bodega, California, most of the birds was actually shot on set at
Oh, okay.
Universal Studios because Hitchcock
So this is another Universal Studio film right here. So yeah. Pretty much this is around there because I told you the ones I did earlier, like the Frank style, it is all Universal Studio, the original classics. This is pretty much part of it as well too. Okay, interesting.
preferred the control it gave him. They do a great job hiding it though. Like in that opening shot, it begins on location and then seamlessly transitions into an on-set shoot. Man, I love filmmaking. Another very trusting dude, the Bodega Bay postmaster, not only tells this out-of-town stranger exactly where Mitch Brenner lives, but also where the town school teacher lives. Melanie visits the teacher, Annie Hayworth, so she can get the name of Mitch's younger sister to put on a birthday card to go with the lovebirds. During their conversation, we learn that Mitch's sister's name is Kathy, and that Annie here has a history with Mitch, lending an interesting edge to the conversation between these ladies.
Oh, pretty. What are they?
Lovebirds.
I see. Good luck, Miss Daniels.
Thank you.
Melanie doesn't want to take the road to Mitch's place since it goes straight to their front door, so insistent on surprising him, she rents a motorboat and takes the lovebirds to cross the bay and land in his backyard instead. Can you believe the backgrounds here are matte paintings? Yeah, that town's a frickin' painting done by Albert Whitlock. Great stuff. In a lengthy scene full of POV shots and not a single word of dialogue, Melanie watches from her boat as Mitch goes into a barn. While he's in there, she quickly docks and just walks straight the fuck into their house to drop off the birds and a birthday card for Kathy. Like I always say, it's not a good prank if it don't involve B&E. She gets back out to the boat and watches from afar as Mitch goes inside. When he comes back out with binoculars, he sees her making her escape, so he hops in his car and speed racers back to town, beating Melanie there before she can dock. As her boat approaches, she puts on a perfect, what could ever so be the matter face, only to have it ruined by the film's first bird attack. All of that gall. Mitch helps her out and finds that the attack has left her bleeding, so he takes her to the nearby Tides restaurant.
Oh, I need some drink real quick. I'm back. My throat is a little dry to get something to drink. Anyway, good thing I had some fake Propel drink downstairs in the bar area. Anyway, let's keep going.
And cleans up her wound. When he asks her what she's doing there, Melanie lies and says that she only brought the birds because she was already coming up to Bodega Bay to visit a friend.
Who's your friend?
Annie Hayworth.
Straight
The school
capping
teacher.
again.
Oh, bold strategy, Melanie. Let's see if it pays off for you. The two of them get right back to sexily sparring with one another, and while Melanie
Man
is
gotta
telling
do
Mitch
shit
how much
straight
she
up small
loathes
chin.
him, his mama walks in, and Lydia
Uh-oh.
Brenner immediately regards Melanie with a suspicion usually reserved for a call from an unknown number. Mitch makes a power move and invites Melanie over to dinner that night, so it looks like Melanie's got a date tonight. Ooh. That means Melanie needs a Bodega Bay base, and lucky for her, Annie Hayworth just just so happens to have a room for rent. The school teacher reluctantly lets Melanie stay with her, while the movie reminds us of its title. That's right, it's called The Birds. I thought it was called Classy Sexy Love Triangle. That night, Melanie heads to the Brenner house and meets Mitch's sister Kathy Brenner, who takes a real liking to Melanie because of the lovebirds she brought. So much of a liking, in fact, that she invites Melanie to her birthday party the next day. Later, Melanie admits to Mitch that she lied about knowing Annie in another conversation where the two of them teeter-totter between wanting to slap and wanting to kiss the other one's face. Melanie returns to Annie's, where they chat over a healthy pour of brandy. Annie admits that she and Mitch had a thing 4 years ago that ended because Mama Lydia was too clingy to her special boy. Annie says she's okay being just friends with Mitch right now, but while Melanie talks on the phone with him, it doesn't take a body language expert to see that's not true. Just keep it together, Annie. Hold yourself together, girl. Mitch is calling to apologize for being oafish and also to invite Melanie to Kathy's party, but she only agrees to go after discussing it with Annie.
Never mind, Lydia. Do you want to go?
Yes.
Then go.
Thank you, Annie.
Whoa, what was that? A bird? What the fuck is a... Oh yeah, this movie's called The Birds. I keep forgetting. It's time for a bangin' Bodega Bay Brenner birthday party. And while Melanie and Mitch drink more hard liquor, this time in front of a very obvious backdrop on a very obvious set, the two of them finally let on that they like each other. Which Annie is just, yeah, she's so happy for you guys, really. Oh, and Lydia is too, seriously, so happy. We're 52 minutes into this thing, so let's get some goddamn birds up in this bitch. Bring the beaks, Hitchy, my boy. A flock of seagulls attacks the kids, pinning some of them down and causing others to run so far away. But Mitch fights back and the adults get all the kids inside, so no kills just yet, although the birds have definitely established a pattern now.
That makes 3 times.
Mitch has Melanie over for dinner again, and before a conversation can even get going, Melanie notices a bird by the fireplace.
Mitch.
Too late bird attack! This is one of the many memorable bird attack scenes with really great special effects work for 1963. Like I mentioned, the effects were done by Ub Iwerks, an animator at Disney who, no joke, created Mickey Mouse. Like, he designed that character. Mickey fucking Mouse. For these bird effects, he used some kind of super smart photochemical technique that I don't fully understand, but it involved shooting birds and other subjects against a background lit with a yellow light, with 2 different kinds of film in the camera, whose shots would then be composited together. It was called yellow screening, so let's just go with that. And fun fact, they only had to use it in this scene after the strawberry finches they loaded inside the chimney wouldn't come out and fly around like they wanted. The actors are actually batting at thin air here. Again, great effects for the pre-computer age. The Brenners have Deputy Al Malone come over, and he's not a very helpful guy.
That's a sparrow, all right.
We know what it is, Al.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mitch? Arrest all the birds? Can't arrest all the birds. That's crazy. Melanie decides that with things so hectic, she might as well stay the night. And Lydia's so excited again. Yes, love it, great. The next morning, Lydia drives over to a farmer friend's house and just walks straight the fuck in, because I guess that's how people do in Bodega Bay. She quickly discovers that he's had the same bird problem they did, only his was a bit worse since it left him dead there.
Damn!
Yeah, that's how the movie did that push it, without any sound or music. Isn't that crazy? I kinda love it. I also love that we finally got a kill, even though it took a whole damn hour. Lydia flees the house and hightails it down the road to get back home and dramatically push past her son. Damn, that lady's freakout lasted so long it had a friggin' commute.
Right.
Melanie agrees to help take care of Lydia, which is maybe why her and Mitch have all of a sudden advanced their relationship to first base, you know, depending on your definition of the bases. There's no universal agreement about them. Lydia finally begins to open up to Melanie and then asks her to go check on Kathy at the schoolhouse. Wow, Melanie, you got drafted into doing Brenner family errands real damn fast. Melanie gets to the schoolhouse for another infamous scene, made memorable because of the diegetic folk tune, Ristledy Rostledy, sung by the school children, which goes on for fucking ever.
Ristlety, Rostlety, hey Johnny Dostlety, Restley, go quality, Ristlety, Rostlety, now, now, now.
Seriously, they sing it for 3.5 minutes straight, and although it's kind of annoying, it's also a perfectly incongruent backing for the masterfully suspenseful shots of crows accumulating on the schoolhouse playground equipment.
Ristlety, Rostlety, now, now, now.
This little scene ends after a torturously long shot of Melanie that doesn't let us see how much danger she's in, until she finally looks up and we get a legit scary shot that reveals exactly how big this murder of crows has become.
Now, now, now.
Melanie goes inside and tells Annie what everybody knows, that the bird is the word. So Annie formulates a plan to get her kids out of there safely.
Miss Daniels would like to see how we conduct ourselves during a fire drill.
What the hell kind of reaction is that, kids? Fire drills are awesome. They get you out of class.
We're going out of school now.
What the hell kind of weirdo kids are these? The bird attack begins awesomely.
Yo, I guess kids loved school back in that because they was like pissed off they got him in school. I was like, I would love this. How would that be? Like, thank you, but shoot, I guess they loved school more than going home back then.
Out of school now.
What the hell kind of weirdo kids are these? The bird attack begins awesomely with us only hearing the kids start to run, which awakens these birds with a jump cut.
Uh-oh.
That brings us to another unforgettable scene as we watch this class of school children get attacked and pecked at by a bunch of birdie bastards on their backs. For those shots, they actually tied real birds to the collars of these kids' clothes, and for the swooping attacks, they put bird seed in the kids' hair. It makes for a truly terrifying scene. Like that kid got it in the face. And what you doing there, little boy? That pole ain't gonna save you. Oh.
As light it is compared to other stuff, especially the fact they put bird season in here, I'm still gonna say that's fucked up. That is fucked up.
Oh, and one last behind the scenes fact here, a lot of the effects were done by having the kids run on a giant treadmill in front of that yellow screen technique.
Whoa.
So these kids, along with Tippi Hedren and Suzanne Pleshette, are all running in place for a lot of these shots. During the attack, Kathy Brenner proves herself a hero by helping one particularly unfortunate peer off the ground. The two of them and Melanie are able to hop into an unlocked car and wait there until the attack subsides. At the Tides restaurant, Melanie calls her dad and tells him about the bird attack, even though she's not keen on the specifics of the species.
Well, I don't know, Daddy. Is there a difference between crows and blackbirds?
There is very definitely a difference, miss.
That lady is an ornithologist, and she's one of more than half a dozen characters in this diner who play out a very theatrical scene as they discuss the recent bird attacks. It's a great ensemble discussion that includes harbingers of doom,
It's the end of the world.
grizzled old sea captains,
A whole flock of gulls nearly capsized one of my boats, practically tore the skipper's arm off.
and commentary on humanity versus nature.
Birds are not aggressive creatures, miss. They bring beauty into the world. It is mankind.
Sam, 3 Southern fried chicken.
There's also a cook played by Dallas McKennon, the guy who voiced Gumby, but my favorite
wow.
one is probably this businessman looking to get midday drunk.
Scotch light on the
You
water.
and Miss
Even better is when a scared mother and her children want to leave and he agrees to drive them home, just after he slams that scotch, you know, for the road. Melanie hears some squawking and looks out the window to witness a
dangerous.
seagull dive bomb a dude filling up his car at the gas station. People rush out to help him, and I'm not gonna put him on the count because I don't think he's dead. But don't you worry, the gas from his hose is leaking across the road and over to a car where my favorite drunk businessman is filling
Oh
up his
shoot!
scotch
Oh
jug.
no!
Melanie and the others try to warn him, but it's too late.
Damn!
Oh my god, that dude just got fucking incinerated.
Toasty!
What do I always say? In a
Damn.
series of inadvertently hilarious shots, Melanie follows the fire as it trails back to the gas station and causes an awesome
Ooh.
giant explosion, the effects of which can be seen from the sky in one of the coolest shots of this movie.
That
Because
is a
get
cool
this,
shot.
half of that shot is another painting by Al Whitlock. They shot all the action with people running around at the Universal lot, and then used a painting to create the town of Bodega Bay around it. Furthermore,
Yo, that's filmmaking for you back in the day, man. They did all that. This is wow.
the seagulls that begin to swoop in here were shot separately and added later in post. Because the cameras needed to be above them, they were filmed from a cliff, and the background of that shot was removed by going frame by frame and rotoscoping it out. This movie is seriously a technical wonder. And
For
remember,
real.
this was 1963,
I know, right?
way before computers could help out with this shit. The swarm of seagulls attacks once more, and during this assault, Melanie finds herself inside a glass cage of emotion. Although a whole bunch of people are getting pecked at here, I don't think any of them get killed. Not even the firefighter who just kind of falls and tumbles himself towards the fire.
Ooh.
I mean, this guy comes close, but you know what? I've got faith that he'll survive. Mitch rescues Melanie from the phone booth,
Got him.
and they return to the restaurant, where some of the terrified townfolk turn on them.
They said when you got here, the whole thing started. I think you're the cause of all this. I think you're evil. Evil!
Yeah, Mel, you definitely
Why she slap her like that? I mean, she's her, but why she had to slap her like that?
want to shut down that Mrs. Carmody shit before
Right.
someone winds up getting sacrificed to the birds.
Right.
The birds retreat, so Mitch and Melanie head over to Annie's house, where Kathy is. But after passing the bully birds on the playground, they get to Annie's and find her body lying lifeless
Oh,
in the front yard.
no.
Unlike with the other two nameless victims of this movie, Annie's death is pretty sad, since she seemed like a pretty chill
Damn.
lady and was performed brilliantly by Suzanne Pleshette. R.I.P. girl. Thankfully, Kathy is still okay, and while she, Mitch, and Melanie leave, she sings a tearful song song of Annie's heroic deeds.
All at once she pushed me inside, and they covered her. Annie, she pushed me inside.
For some reason, instead of driving back down to San Francisco, Mitch and Melanie decide to bunker down the Brenner house while more birds swarm over town. Although he gets the place in pretty good lockdown condition, eventually they hear the swelling of bird noises outside, which scares everyone and causes Mitch to feed that fire like he's fending off a Krampus. Seagulls break in through the window.
Oh my
even try to
God.
peck down the front door in a lengthy home invasion scene that's silent save for the squawking and other bird sound effects.
Dang.
Unfortunately, this prolonged attack turns Melanie into a shell of the feisty lady we've grown to love, and she winds up stumbling around in a trance like she's Barbara from the original Night of the Living Dead. Oh, and Mitch is nailing stuff against the door just like Ben? The Birds is a goddamn zombie movie, dude. After the lights cut out, the bird noises finally subside, and apparently it stays quiet long enough for everyone but Melanie to fall asleep. But when she hears a rogue fluttering, she heads upstairs to see where it's coming from, and inside a room up there, she makes a terrifying discovery.
Oh shit. Woo!
This is another infamous scene because of both the Psycho-style editing and what happened while they were making it. Hitchcock had led Tippi Hedren to believe they'd be using mechanical birds for this scene, but instead, when it came time to shoot it, they ended up throwing real live birds at poor Ms. Hedren's face. It actually took days to shoot, and by the end of it, Tippi Hedren was so messed up that she was put under doctor's care for an entire week, which stalled.
Well, crazy thing about that, that's what happened. I heard that's what happened with Psycho. Let me see the Psycho actor's name again real quick. I know it's Jamie Lee Curtis' mom. Janet Leigh, yeah. Yeah, Janet Leigh. She was scared to take showers after Psycho. That was crazy for a while.
Production a bit. In fact, after Mitch comes to the rescue and drags her unconscious body out of the room, it's a body double he carries down the stairs there, because they had to shoot this while Tippi Hedren was in the hospital.
Damn.
Again, Alfred Hitchcock is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, but man, he could be a dick to his actor. The attack has left Melanie totally hysterical and swatting at nothing, and when she's done doing that, she just becomes kind of catatonic. I hate Melanie Daniels' character arc. Why we gotta break this badass lady down, dog? Mitch wants to get Melanie to a hospital, but in order to do that, he's gonna have to get through all these birds, including one particularly nasty raven named Archie, who had a real on-set rivalry with Mitch's actor Rod Taylor.
We went after Rod continuously.
Wow.
It's kind of funny, actually.
There's a still of me looking terrified with a bandage on and something. That's real terror. That bird,
I look it up. Tippi's still alive. She's 94 years old. What about Rod? He passed in 2015. And Annie Hepburn in 2008. Yeah. But yeah, Rod, Tippi Hedren is still alive, 94
every
years
morning,
old.
if I was on the set, we were on the set together, would come over and go, "Ang!" and bite me. And I hated him, and he hated me.
Mitch
Damn.
carefully slinks through these beaked bastards as he goes to the garage and gets Melanie's car ready. It's a great, quietly menacing scene as the birds cover every surface in sight and occasionally give Mitch little love bites. But he manages to get the car out of the garage, thankfully not running over any of these bird performers. And for anyone curious, I guess the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals was on set the whole time, so hopefully all these birds were alright. Mitch opens a non-existent door that you didn't even realize wasn't there to reveal a pretty scary scene. He and Lydia carry Melanie outside towards the car, although not without some objection.
No.
No, right.
The movie ends on a fairly ambiguous note. Yeah, Melanie and the Brenners are somewhat safe inside their car, but they're leaving behind a village that's been completely overrun by birds. How many murders did these crows and gulls stir up? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
You would think you get like a explanation of why the birds was like that, but no, just end like that. Interesting.
Come on, Garrus, you can help me. Birds are smart. Yeah. Yeah. Only 3 people died in the birds, as far as we could tell on screen. 2 of the victims were men, and 1 was a woman, giving a 2-to-1 ratio there. And with a runtime of 119 minutes, we had a kill on average every 39.67 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Dan Fawcett, the farmer found with his eyes pecked out. It's actually a horrifying image that was accomplished by combining makeup effects done by Howard Smith with matte painting done in post. The almost machete for lamest kill will go to Annie Hayworth, who was found dead mere feet from the safety of her home. Damn you, birds! And that's it. The Birds came out in 1963 and earned Ub Iwerks an Oscar nomination for his effects. I'm glad you joined me for the first kill count of 2019. Stick around, we've got a good year ahead of us. Until next time though, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching the Bird Kill Count with Birds. I really want to thank.
Alright, cool. See, there you have it though. So next week I got to debate is you want to make that free week or move on with the alternative kill count week as well too. Either way, I haven't pulled up the loser polls yet. I'm going to because it is really a tight race, so I will pull the gulags polls, the redemption poll up first and see and going for after I take care of that. Pizzle where the bottom two is at because right now is a battle of the bottom two as right now. The lowest votes from the last poll are like really neck and neck. But other than that, and I don't want to end up picking one, the other one, then things change right after. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T signing off. One love.